Blue Eyes was fun, but ultimately it ended in failure. This time around, I want to win. So on a budget of only $25 per week, we're going to build a competitive PK deck that can not only beat content creators, but also top locals and take on regionals when they return. Join me on this journey to become the next king of games. This is sealed only Yu-Gi-Oh! Road to Kingship. Happy 2022, everyone. What better way to herald in the new year than with another episode of Sealed Only? Now, for this episode, we're going to be going back into the Megatins, because of course we are. We need more Torn Scales. Just even one more will make the main deck so much better and just so much more consistent. So that's what we're really hoping for. Once we're done with that, the plan is to go and start hunting the DPE package. So we're going to be looking for Verites, Fusion Destinies, and of course DP himself, and of course hunting for Fusion Destiny will also allow us to find the Cherubini, maybe, hopefully, eventually. It'd be nice if Konami could just give me the Christmas present of a full power PK deck in like the next 3 episodes. Speaking of Christmas presents, the best present that you can give me is a subscribe and hitting the notification bell, because that will help my channel grow, and the more my channel grows, obviously the better my pulls are. That's just how this game works, I guess. Also, follow me on social media down below and join my Discord, because it's just a fun place to hang out and you'll get notice on videos when they come out. Anyways, with that all out of the way, let's get into the first pull of the new year. Tins. Last week was disappointing. We didn't get anything except for a holo upgrade for Staingreaves, so we want something better, something more exciting, more enthralling, something to really get the blood pumping and gushing, if you know what I'm saying. I don't know what I'm saying. I am just tired. Anyway, let's get into these packs. And I realized the opening for last week was very short. It was only a 2-minute long opening, so we're going to artificially inflate my openings by going over every single card in this pack. So you got the Melfi Playhouse, got Melfi Tag, Torpedo Takedown, Penguin Brave, love the penguins, Arcjet Lightcrafter, Gravity Controller, Thunder Hand, he's going to hand you, Win, that's really pretty, Lily, and Second Fleur-de-Lis, Rank Up Magic, Tactical Trapper, we got Astolfo, love Fate Apocrypha, Dogmatica Encounter, who's being encountered there, Eyeshadow, Jack in the Hand, and Oiger. Well, that was kind of sad, but hey, Second Fleur-de-Lis, I guess? Lily foil? Oh well. Another pack, time for another pack. Resonator Command, that's 5D's cards, I think. Melfi Mommy, very cute. Proxy F Magician, we're getting Proxy G Magician. Charge into the Dark World, oh he be charging. Melfi Hide and Seek. Razin Ryu, I don't think that card's very good. Super Heavy Samurai Scarecrow, I didn't know that was a real card. Ooh, hello. Focus on the Gizmek, thank you. Gizmek Okami. Adamanticator Signs, that's our second one. Yo, second Torn Scales, let's go. Perfect. Oh, yes, baby. Oh, yes, let's go. None of the rest of it matters, because we got the Torn Scales. That's the only important card. May you, this pack, finish my playset so that way I don't have to open any more tins. Ironclaw, Raptite, Tag, Dice to Dice, Razin Ryu, Learner Device, Black Sea Squatter, Durandal, the Scraping Shimmerer, Mission Salvation, and a Chi-Chi Imposter, and our third Kowloon, hey. Well, nothing in that pack. That's okay though, because we got the boy, the lad, the man of the hour, Torn Scales numero dos. That makes me happy. It makes it all worth it. Alright, let's go see how we can fix the deck up and maybe, take it to locals. Maybe top, please, por favor. Alright, it's been a bit, and since it's the new year, I decided I would grace y'all with a full deck profile, because things are pretty different since the last time we've done one of these bad boys. So, let's see what we got here. First off, for our PK package, we got 3 Boots. He's the best PK. He's an extender. He's a special summon. He gets you your Fog Blades. He's just whatever you need. Then we have 3 Staingreaves. I think he's the best one to have at 3 outside of Silent Boots, since we don't have, 3 Bardiche. Because he is, again, a free special summon, he combos really well with Torn Scales, where you can banish Cloak to add Staingreaves to hand. Then Torn Scales will summon himself, and because Torn Scales is summoned in a new chain, it'll trigger Staingreaves special summon himself, making a rank 3 real easy. Speaking of Torn Scales, we got 2 Torn Scales since we pulled our second one. Best card in the deck. You can Foolish something, special summons itself. Just amazing. Then we have 2 Ancient Cloaks, searches you any card in the deck that you could possibly want. It's the best send off of Bardiche in my opinion, and that's probably collective opinion. And finally, we have 1 Ragged Gloves. You really want him in the graveyard before you make your Bardiche, because then if, let's say, you get nibbed, you can banish him to send one of your spell traps and revive the Bardiche and just go from there. Next, for our generic extenders, we got 3 Kage Mucha. He's essentially a PK that doesn't banish itself. We got 3 Junk Forward. He's a Cyber Dragon, and he's an Earth. So the Earth part kind of sucks, but you can just go into our Pentastag to continue our combos from there. Then we have 2 Strangulanius. He's a free special summon. He's a dark, which is really good for making Bardiche. He's a 4, unfortunately, so we can't make any link monsters with him really outside of like Dark Rebellion, but that doesn't come up. He also has an effect where you can special a Raider from the graveyard if I control Dark Exceed, which is really cool. We also have 1 Raider's Wing, also a decent extender. He special summons himself by detaching from an Xyz monster, which is really good. We also have 1 Blue Mountain Butter Spy. We're only running 1 of this because it can't be normal summoned. And finally, 1 Yan Yan. Really good send off of our Torn Scales if you draw it, and it's just a free summon when it's in the graveyard. It's a 3, it shuffles back a banished card. It's really good. Then for our hand trap lineup, we're just running 3 Effect Veiler. It's really good, this format. A lot of stuff has a choke point where if you just Veiler them, it kind of stops your combos or prevents them from going into a really good board. So I've been really liking Veiler. Next up, we have Triple Forbidden Chalice. This is what we like to call budget imperm, but it's just as good, if not better, because you can always activate it from the hand, and you can set it on your turn to negate an opponent's effect during their turn. Just so good. Love this card. Next, we have our 2 rank ups of Rank Up Launch and Rank Up Force. Force is way better than Launch, but sometimes hard drawing one of these things is pretty good if we're stuck with our boots under our break sword or something like that. If we're not able to like banish boots to search one, it's good to have the extra. Plus, we can use Launch to banish itself and add a PK as material to one of our Dark Exceed monsters, which is really useful as well. For our Power 1-0s, we have the 1 TTT, Pot of Greed if our opponent hand traps us. Monster Reborn, Great Extender. Reinforcements, finds us our Torn Scales. Foolish Burial, puts any PK we want in the graveyard. And 1 Dark Hole. I think board wipes are really good this format, and since we don't have access to Lightning Storm or Raigeki at the moment, I think Dark Hole in the main deck's really good. Like, there are many times where like our opponents don't have spell trap negate, so you just go Dark Hole before you start anything, and well, you're off to the races. For our trap cards, of course, we have Triple Fogblade. It's a revive. It's a Veiler effect. It prevents them from attacking. What more could you want? Then we're also running 1 sword and 1 wing as stuff to send to the graveyard to revive our PKs. They're both pretty good, and they have niche applications if you draw them. They're not great, but they can come up. And finally, Shade Brigandine. It's a decent extender as well. Let's move on to the extra deck now, shall we? Starting off with our Xyz pool, we're running 1 Long. So this is a rank 3, 2400, takes 2+ materials of any kind. And what it does is, if your opponent activates an effect of a monster that does not share an attribute with a monster that they have on the field, we can detach to negate it. Also, if Long has material, it can't be targeted. This is really good because it stops hand traps, essentially. Unfortunately, because we can't really extend after making this, we are kind of stuck with on the board, but if we make it to turn 3 and want to go for the kill, he's a good way to stop their ashes and everything. Next, we have 2 Breaksword. He's the main PK. You detach to pop 1 card on your field and your opponent's field, and when he dies, you bring back 2 PKs as 4s. He's great because this is how you get into your Dark Rebellion dragons. It's how you interrupt your opponent, and yeah, he's just incredibly great. Next, for our 4s, we have Raider's Knight. Detach 1 to rank up into any rank 5 you really want. Generally, we'll be using this to make Arc Rebellion. Our other 4 is Dark Rebellion Xyz Dragon. We're going to rank this guy up into Dark Requiem usually, but he also packs a punch as well because, 2500, I can make him have an opponent's monsters attack and gain the attack. He's pretty good. And then, of course, Dark Requiem Xyz Dragon, aka 3 negates on a 3000 body and a revive. If you make this, you win. You win against most decks. And Arc Rebellion. This is our premier going second tool. If your opponent doesn't have interruptions, just make this guy, pump him up, and you win. Finally, for our last two, we have Vespinato. He just goes on top of a guy. He deals piercing. He's not terrible. And then, of course, Zeus. What do you want me to say? You know what Zeus does. For our two synchros, we're running Juju and Coral Dragon. Juju actually has application. It's unaffected by stuff if I have two monsters with different names, the same attribute and type in the graveyard, which is, basically this whole deck. And you can pop a card by banishing two of those, so very good. Honestly, comes up. Coral Dragon, not as much, but he's space filler. And for our link pool, we have a Link Spider for linking off Nibiru tokens or linking off our Shade Brigandine to combo further. This is very good. One Pentastag, this is our premier Dark Link 2 of choice. If we are unable to have 3 darks, let's say we have 2 darks and an earth, you go into the Pentastag and then you use Pentastag and a dark to go into Bardiche. Next we have Decode Talker, he's a link 3, sometimes he comes up. And finally, one Bardiche, gotta love him, he's the reason why PK's relevant. Foolish is something, sets a spell trap, pops whatever pops a card if he points to a dark monster. Insane card. Finally, our sideboard, which is not very impressive. For our hand traps, we are running a Winter Cherries and a Ghost Ogre. Ghost Ogre is decent, popping cards is not terrible at all this format, and Winter Cherries is good in the mirror, and it's actually really good if we know our opponent's on a Zeus deck, because then we can just say, hey, no Zeus for you, and we go to our combos. It might get better when we get DPE as well, because then we can Cherries away their DPE. Next, for our trap lineup, we have one TT and one Trap Hole. These are the only copies of this we have. TT's great. TT just beats most decks, and Trap Hole's pretty good too. Next, we got the 2 other Dark Holes. If we know we're going second, or we know our opponent's on a Spell Negation light board, this is a very impactful card. One Book of Moon, just because I got the 1. It's Book of Moon. It's good. Next, we get to our Spell and Trap Destruction. 3 MST. And triple Twin Twisters. Wonderful. This is the only way my deck has to deal with spell traps, because as you know, PK, really good setting up monster negates, not good setting up spell trap negates. But yeah, I'm pretty confident with the deck this week. Let's take it to locals and see what happens. Well, here we are yet again at locals playing against an Ultra player. This is what I live for, I think. Anyways, they go first and establish a board of Link Karibo and 2-step back row. On our turn, we're able to get out Bardiche, and that's about it. He has Imperm for my Bardiche's effect, and he's able to bounce my Break Sword with a Silk. After this, it's just a matter of him winning the game, and that's what he does. Game 2. Unfortunately, this one was not on camera because I ran out of storage. But he Lancey'd me on turn 1, and that forced me to just go into Long. Now, Altergeist can't deal with Long because it can't be targeted and has 2400 attack. What I should have done this game was sit on Long and slowly whittle down his board. However, I wanted to break the stalemate by making Zeus. This allowed him to bounce my Zeus and then OTK me.
Let's go. Oh, that's not ass actually. Ulti!
That's not
ass though. That's $4 or $5.
Is it? Match 2. For game 1, I'm going second against Flunder with no interaction. They start their turn by activating Dimension Shifter. Woo! They then combo their way into M-Pen, a set Dreaming Town, and basically, I have my work cut out for me. We start off with a Boots and a Kagemucha, and they Book of Moon my Boots on the resolution, preventing me from comboing further. Because this, all we can do is set 2 and pass. On their turn, they get out an Apex Avian and beat over our board. Then, back on our turn, we attempt to Monster Reborn the Boots, but they chain Dreaming Town to summon a Barrier Statue, locking us out of special summons. We then summon a Nian and beat over the Barrier Statue, but we can't do much after that, so we just have to search a Fog Blade off of Boots and pass to him. On his turn, we attempt to Fog Blade as Rabina, but he negates it with Avian and then summons another Avian. After this, he beats over our Nian and passes to us. On our turn, we get out Boots and Kage, but he pops Kage with Avian. We can't deal with these Avian loops, so next turn he's just able to knock us out. Game 2. We get to go first this time, and we start off with the Greaves and a Boots, to which our opponent chains Dimension Shifter. Yay. We activate Tactics and draw 2 Junk Forwards. Amazing. Who knew Pot of Greed was bad? After this, we just make a long and pass On his turn, he hits us with the Twin Twisters, popping both of our back row. Then he tributes his Eaglin and my Long to special summon his M-Pen, and after that, he sets 2 and passes. We start our turn by bringing out a Junk Forward and a Torn Scales, to which he chains Dreaming Town. He tributes my Junk Forward and his Eaglin to bring out the Avian. Then, to add insult to injury, he books my Torn Scales with Dreaming Town's effect. We pass to him, and on his turn, he gets out the Ryza and Yada locks us, so we're forced to surrender. Match 3. For our final match of the week, we go first against Sword Soul. Hopefully, we can redeem ourselves. We're able to combo off with no interruptions, so I end on a board of Bardiche, Dark Requiem, and 2 set cards. Not too bad if I do say so myself. On his turn, he attempts a combo off, but 3 negates and a pop are just too much for him to deal with, and with the negation of his Protoss, he scoops up game 1. Game 2, this time he's going first. Hopefully I can deal with whatever Sword Soul has in store for me. He combos off with his Tenyis, and when the Moye comes down, we hit it with an Effect Veiler, significantly slowing down their plays. He's able to end on a board of Moye, Ashuna, Chichao, and Sword Soul Supreme, and since there's no Burrown and no back row on field, I think we can get some work done here. We start our turn by negating Chichao with Forbidden Chalice that we top decked. After that, we bring out Greaves and Boots and immediately make Breaksword. We use Breaksword to pop itself and the Tenyi. Then we use the 2 revived PKs to make Raider's Knight and then an Arc Rebellion, trying to go for the OTK. We use Arc Rebellion's effect. This negates everything, so it negates the Chichao's effect to lower all of my attack. And it gains us attack to the equivalent of 10,500, allowing us to win by swinging into his Moye. Well, this week was fun. We got our Torn Scales, but yet again we run into the issue where we just kind of either die to 1 negation or we just brick real bad. Who would have thunk that Pot of Greed is bad? Who would have thunk that drawing 2 Junk Forwards was an option? Regardless, I'm happy that we got the Torn Scales, and I think our plays are doing a little bit better. Next week we'll be opening my final tin because I just have 1 extra of these things laying around, and well, maybe I'll get the final Torn Skills out of it. After that, we are going to start going for Cherubini and Verte using El Dorado and the Dark Neostorm Special Editions. Hopefully this isn't too long of a journey because, gold gets expensive real quick. Anyways, if you liked the video, make sure to hit a like button and subscribe, and check out my other stuff as well. I got plenty of good content for y'all to see. Anyways, enjoy your new year, and we'll see you again next week.